seat. Yes. Our colleague, please.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Thank y'all for allowing me to be here. And I want to thank our hostess very much.
Of course,
for
thanks for being here.
Yes, ma'am. The United States is hosting the Summit of Americas in Los Angeles this week. It's supposed to be a gathering of leaders of North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean to promote economic cooperation and strengthen relationships. According to the State Department, the summit will focus on building a sustainable, resilient, and equitable future. I think we've heard what that is. Of course, the Democrats have to throw the buzzwords into these kind of events, but the sad truth is the Biden administration, they don't give a rip about equity when it comes to the human rights of our Latin American neighbors. White House officials talk a big game about promoting human rights across the region, but the administration refuses to hold foreign leaders accountable when they blatantly violate the rights of their citizens. The two most obvious examples that are in Latin America are the communist regimes in Venezuela and Cuba. These dictators unlawfully arrest anyone they want to at any time. They beat and torture their prisoners. They shut down any protests against them, and they bleed their citizens dry for all they have. These corrupt leaders' only goal is to keep an iron grip over the citizens and maintain control of their resources. The Biden administration knows all about these countries' numerous human rights violations. You can read about them in the State Department's 2021 human rights reports, and yet the White House is choosing to soften its policies towards these communist regimes. Just a few days ago, the Biden administration announced it intends to lift several Trump-era restrictions that were imposed on Cuba to crack down on the country's human rights abuses and prevent American money from making its way into the hands of corrupt Cuban authorities. The Biden administration also announced it would be lifting sanctions against Venezuela to let Maduro regime pump its oil into these rich European countries. This new arrangement won't do much to lower the price of oil around the world, but it will provide a nice boost to the bank accounts of some members of the corrupt elite in Venezuela. I and many of my Republican colleagues have been pushing the Biden administration to take more power away from our foreign adversaries, like Russia and Venezuela, by turning on our own spigots back home and producing our own energy again. It's hypocritical to crack down on the oil industry of one human rights violator like Russia, only to turn around and enable the oil industry of another human rights violator like Venezuela. We need to take the power away from these countries by producing more energy here at home, which would not only stimulate our own economy and drive prices down at the pump, but would provide more jobs for Americans. Unfortunately, the Biden administration has made it clear it would rather address our energy crisis by jacking up the price of gas and increasing our reliance on foreign oil. Folks in the Biden administration talk a good game about caring for human rights, but I'm calling on them to walk the walk. Hold dictators like Maduro and Diaz-Canel accountable for the regime's crimes against humanity. This starts by taking any leverage they have in the global market and highlighting a simple truth that a nation must respect the rights of its people in order to be taken seriously on the world stage, and that won't happen under communism.